Hi everybody and welcome to another video. Right, so today I thought I'd scrape the bottom of the barrel and show you a piece that has been with me for well over 30 years. Right, so this is one of my childhood toys. It is a vintage Star Wars small vehicle, the speeder bike, 1983 speeder bike, okay? As you can see, I still managed to preserve its original box in fairly good condition, I may add. So just smallest of creases on the edges, but all in all, still a great piece. Right, so it's interesting to see the surge of the vintage collection that replicates these original cards. And I, for one, absolutely love that toy line because it reminds me of the toys I actually had when I was a kid. Right, so back to the piece at hand. So you've got a pretty straightforward picture of the speeder bike featuring the biker scout and none other than Chief Chirpa, the lead Ewok in the village. But it is also made clear that this vehicle came without any action figures. You have to buy these separately. Right, so it says here with action speed flaps, we'll talk about them in a second. Right, curiously enough, so on this side of the box you've got the Return of the Jedi logo in English, and on this side two other languages. So first, we've got French over here on the top left side, La Guerre des Étoiles, Le Retour du Jedi. I know it sounds weird pronounced this way, but on the bottom right side, you've got El Retorno del Jedi. Yes, I don't even know if it's pronounced that way or not. Okay, but here we go. Another curious aspect as things go. This was bought in a supermarket, a Spanish supermarket in the north of Spain, in Vigo, which was Alcampo. I don't know if you can see it right there or not, but it cost 399 pesetas, which was the national currency in Spain at the time, before we had the euros. And okay, so I'm gonna say that this probably would have been bought in, I don't know, perhaps 86, 87, I don't know. So yeah, it was on sale and it costs the equivalent nowadays to 2 euros, more or less. That's it, 2 euros. Yeah, so if you go to your eBay listings, you will probably notice that they are asking a lot more for this tiny Star Wars vehicle in the condition it is right now. So I don't really consider my collection as an investment. I do not hope to or plan to sell it. But if I were to consider it an investment, vintage stuff usually takes precedence to all other items, because things that are being manufactured right now, you're going to have to wait a longer period of time. As for things which are in fact vintage, they tend to go up in value sometimes, at least Star Wars related stuff does. So this is still factory sealed on one of the sides. It is open on the other, which is the one I'm going to open up. Right, so as you open this box, you will notice that I still have the original, yeah, okay, this tiny instruction manual, speeder bike vehicle. All right, so once again, logo on 3 languages, okay, English, French, and Spanish. By the way, it's mentioned there that this box was made in Spain. Once again, I have no Kenner logo, okay, or Palitoy logo on the box, okay. So I've already talked about this on my Slave 1 video some time back. So very, simple instructions on how to assemble this vehicle that originally came unassembled. Right, on this side you have the gimmick, you have the, I'm going to talk about this play feature in a while. Right, so as for the vehicle itself, it has been reproduced on timeless occasions on the Star Wars line, but this was the first one, the original one. It came in 3 separate pieces with very, very simple assembling. Okay, you've got to put him there, and once you hear the click, it is assembled. Right, so as far as this, this back part of the speeder bike is made of die cast, which gives it some weight, and the spring on these flaps is quite sturdy. So much so that it didn't actually rest in the position it was supposed to. It was always tilting forward. That was one of the problems I had with this toy, while playing with it. On most recent versions, you will notice that this tan has become much darker. It has become dark brown, sometimes white, when they were later introduced in the Empire. But originally speaking, I only remember watching this particular vehicle, the Chase, on Return of the Jedi. So once again, 1983. So as far as design goes, this screams science fiction all the way. I mean, you've got this pivoting, cannon underneath, and you've got this feature in which you pull down these flaps, and as you lift off, they will immediately come to this position. Right, so to talk about the speeder bike without bringing a biker scout, yeah, it would be, just half a job. Right, so due to the lack of articulation, this pilot only stood, up in the speeder. It only sat there, instead of mounting it correctly, as later versions did. This original version would only stand there, and do this. Once again, I must remind you that back in 1983, just the simple fact that they accomplished this sort of, molding was in itself quite amazing. Right, so it was later corrected on later versions, as I was saying, in the late 90s, where the biker scout could mount his bike in a much more movie accurate way. But all in all, a wonderful little vintage Star Wars piece. Right, you guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. I know I most certainly did. Hope to see you guys soon. Stay safe, stay strong. Yeah, I forgot to mention the playable feature this vehicle originally came with. So I started talking about that, but then my mind just got sidetracked. Right, as things go, to recreate the crash that these guys had on the moon planet of Endor, so when you click on this button, when you punch this button down, it comes crashing. It just kind of destroys itself, right, goes into pieces once again to mimic what happened on the movie.